Hi everybody. Today I want to show you a little bit about my ATC cards. These aren't the normal artist trading cards. Well, they are, but they're made out of fabric. Everything's done with textiles and fabrics, and I wanted to show you how I do mine. They're awfully fun. And as you can see, they're the normal size, a 2.5 by 3.5 inches. And if you did all 9 of them, then you would be creating what they call a pocket letter, but that's a whole nother story. So I just want to show you a little bit. Bring that in. Let's bring that in a little bit closer. Happy fall, y'all. I've done this with fabrics. This is, the wipes, wet wipes or whatever, that have been sprayed, have paints on them that I've used sometimes, the leftovers. I have those on there. I have regular fabrics that I've stitched. I also have on some of these, I've got cheesecloth. I've got dryer sheet that's been sprayed. Fabric, I've got some old lace, some old vintage, part of handkerchief. There again, just a nice background. I've even put some of the fibers that you can buy, the yarns and things, on those. Now these are a little bit different. This fabric background has been stitched, as you can see here. And then I've added some trim, some embroidery floss, buttons, a little bit of words, teeny bit of paint, and the same on these, basically the same. Little different backgrounds with some embroidery work. This is a chenille, little bit of a chenille bedspread. And the ones that I wanted to show you today, that I'm going to show you a little bit about the process, and that are my kitties. This is the finished set, and I want to show you a little bit more about that. And so I hope you'll continue with me, and let's see how this process works. Hi guys. Okay, so what I want to do is to continue and show you what I do. One of the things that you can do with a fabric ATC card. What I'm doing is I am taking a piece of linen that I have cut up from an old vintage scarf that I couldn't use for a scarf, and I have taken a piece of like a webbing stabilizer for sewing. Now I could eliminate a step if I had the fusible webbing, which sews, which you can iron on and have it stick, but I didn't have that. So I also had some heat and bond adhesive that I cut out. So the ATCs are 2.5 inches by 3.5 inches, and I cut out a piece of the heat and bond and a piece of the linen and a piece of the stabilizer, and I ironed the heat and bond to my linen, and then I also ironed then to the stabilizer. So I end up with this, but like I said, you can save that step if you just get the fusible stabilizer. Then you can just put your linen to that, cut it to the right size, and then iron it on. So what I'm going to do, we're going to cover this, make a fun background, set that one off to the side. So I'm just picking some colors that I like. I want it to kind of match what I've already done. And so I may go ahead with something like this, and I just will stitch. I don't worry about raw edges or anything like that. And what I'm going to, well, let's just go ahead and do that. I'll be back as soon as I get those stitched. Okay, now you can see I've got my fabric stitched down. Now if I wanted to do some more things, I certainly could on the background, but I do want to show you a process that is kind of fun to work with fibers. Now I've got my basic background, and I pick up at thrift stores and whatnot yarns, and sometimes I come across some really fabulous things for a very inexpensive price. So what I've got here is a fun yarn that I'm just pulling apart because it's got these cool fibers that I want to use. But I don't want to use it just like that, although I could, but I want to kind of pull it apart and see. Let's take a peek and see what happens when we do that. So I'll be quiet here for just a minute and you can sort of watch what I'm doing as I do this. Okay, that's going to be kind of fun. And then I also had some other fibers that are more stringy, and I'm going to use those. So first of all, what I want to do is I want to turn this wrong side up, and I'm going to trim around my edges so I know where I want to lay my fibers down. Okay, we'll turn that over, and now I'll position some of these fibers. Let's see, I don't think I want all of that, so we'll just go ahead and kind of lay it out. That's kind of balled up there. I don't know that I like that. There, that's better. So we'll put that down. And let's add the white in here, off to one side maybe. And then I'm going to put some darker fibers. We are just going to kind of have a fun experience here. All right, let's cut that off. And then she said, let's put some more. Yay! Why do a little when you can overdo it, right? Okay, so that's kind of cool, but it's awfully fat, isn't it? And how am I going to sew that down without, you know, having it ball up in my machine? Well, that's where this stuff comes into play. For those of you that don't know what this is, it's tulle. Some people call it wedding tulle. It's used at weddings an awful lot. It comes in rolls. And I just cut a small piece. This particular color is called winter wheat. It's even hard to see it. But as you can see, I can lay that down on top of my fibers, and then I can stitch all over this, which will hold them down. And when I get done, I might have something that looks like this. Of course, this was a little bit different. Everyone is a little bit different when you put the fibers on. But as you can see, it's just really fun. You have designs with your background, and then you also create designs with your stitching and different colors of threads that you might decide that you want to use. So that's basically how I do it, guys. And then it's just a matter of adding embellishments. Do I want to put some old laces on there? Well, yes, maybe I do. I don't know. Maybe I want to put a little bit of this. Maybe I want to tie a little bow and put some more fibers up in a corner. Maybe I want to put some buttons on, whatever. And here is what I ended up with. So let's see, how can I get this so you can see this without my, okay, there you go. So I hope you have fun with this. You can zigzag around the edges, you can straight stitch, you can do a decorative stitch, anything you want to do. Have fun, enjoy the process, and let's make some fabric ATC cards.